So for this video, we're going to be using the newer Blackboard environment because for making assignments, the interface is actually a little bit nicer. Whenever you go to a content area, it doesn't matter if it's a content folder, a learning module, or one of these content areas we create from the menu up here. In that content area, right next to the Build Content tab, we want to go to the Assessments tab. And we can see that we have the option of doing a test, a survey, an assignment, blah, blah, blah. Now, chances are, when you make an assignment, you're doing so because you want a student to actually upload a file that you will then grade. And that could be an image, it could be a PDF, a Word document. In fact, you can even have them upload multiple files as part of the same assignment. And the only way to enable that is if we go to the Assessments tab and then create an assignment type. If you go ahead and do that, we'll give the assignment a name, so test assignment, and then a description for what the assignment should be about. If we scroll down, we have the option of attaching a file by either browsing your course, so the course view will show you all of the files you've uploaded already, or to select a new one, we're going to go ahead and then browse my computer, and then of course you would navigate to whichever file you want and then click on it and then hit open. And you would do that for every single file you want to attach that they would need to utilize for the assignment. So this is how you can attach all of the files required for the assignment in the assignment itself without having to put them in a separate location such as the course materials folder or an assignments materials folder. Those can all be integrated directly into the assignment simply by attaching them in this spot right here. Now, you have the option of applying a due date. And what this means is that if somebody submits something past the due date, Blackboard can automatically mark it as late and you can begin subtracting points. And this works either independent of or in addition to your time settings for making adaptive release content down here. So again, we can limit the availability to display after or display until, but make sure that this checkbox here, make assignment available, is checked. If this is not, even though the display after date might trigger, this takes precedent. So they will never see the assignment unless this is here. So always make sure that this option is checked if you are going to be using adaptive release scheduling. Now, if we go back, so under the due date, again, this is optional. We have the grading section. So how many points might this assignment be worth? Let's go with an example of 100. We also have the option of adding a rubric. So how are we going to structure the grading process for this assignment? We can select a current one or make a new one or edit an existing one. And I'll show you how all of these options work in a separate video. Below grading, we have some options here. So for submission details, let's go ahead and expand that. How are we going to deploy this assignment? Are we going to make it so that every individual has to submit the assignment, or is it going to be a group assignment? To make it a group submission, all you would do is click on this little button here. And if I had groups, we would then have a list of our groups that we'd click on, and then the assignment would be deployed to those groups automatically. So anybody who went to the assignments content area in a particular group would see the assignment and nobody else. Now, because I don't have any groups actually created, I have to go ahead and hit OK and then change this back to individual submissions. Otherwise, because there are no groups, nobody would ever find the assignment. And that'd be kind of dumb, wouldn't it? Below that, we have the number of attempts, and you can choose a single attempt, so a one try is all you get, or we can do multiple attempts, and then you can choose how many attempts they get, and then you can choose which one to score. So either score the highest grade, keep the lowest grade, first grade, the average of all attempts, or the last attempt. So you have quite a bit of flexibility with how you want them to have their score based on the nature of your assignment. And then again, the maximum number of attempts you would put here. If there is no maximum, then you should come down to number of attempts drop down and choose unlimited attempts. And again, you can still choose which score to base their grade off of in relation to the attempt. Now below that we have some built-in plagiarism tools, and it's called SafeAssign. And this only works if you're doing an English language submission, and it's typically used for assignments where they have to upload a discussion or an essay or a paper. What this does is it's going to check their assignment against a known database of content and try to find any matching phrases that might signal an offense like plagiarism is occurring. Now, it's not going to be guaranteed. It isn't even always 100% accurate, but it can still give you something to look for a little bit more quickly if you've got lots of papers to go through. So this is kind of an optional solution for you, and it's going to be up to you to determine if you want to use the SafeAssign feature or not. Under the grading options, you can enable anonymous grading. So in other words, you're not going to know whose assignment you are grading until all the grades have been entered. And you can also enable somebody else to do the grading for you. So maybe you're going to have a peer review or group project, and a different group has to grade someone else. Well, to do so, simply under grading options, click on this checkbox, enable grading, delegated. And you can choose who you want to do. So you can have all possible graders in the course. You can assign all assigned to grade, so everybody will have it, or nobody. Now, if you have all possible graders selected here, you're going to have some settings that you can choose from. And you also can choose, okay, which submissions are they going to be grading? None, all submissions, or a randomized set. If they're doing a random set, how many items of those set will they be looking at? So you can have anywhere from 1 to, I think, 2,000, or actually 20,000, which I really hope you never use that much. But so let's say we're going to have this person here grade a random set of submissions up to a maximum of 6. And then the same for this person down here. They're going to actually grade all submissions. And then this other person here is going to grade a random set, and we'll make them go again with 6. So again, you have quite a few options here, and this is where you actually choose the grader that will be grading the assignment. You can't specifically click on a name here and choose somebody else. So if the person is not in this list, then you're going to have to go to your user settings and make some changes, and we'll go over that at a different time. And last but not least, the display of grades. So what does this do? Well, you can choose to display the grade any way that you want. So a score, a letter, text, percentage, or a complete or incomplete. And then the secondary option gives you a further way to define how you want the grade to show up in your Blackboard Grade Center. And the Grade Center we will go over in another video. And you have the option of including this score within your Grade Center. And you can also enable them, or the students, to see it in My Grades. And you can also show the statistics to your students so that they know how they compared with the overall average of the class. So are they above average, below average, or right at the average? So you're kind of implementing a way for these students to know how they stack up against their peers on the assignment level. And I guess last but not least, before we go ahead and click on Submit, whenever you have an item of point value that you create in Blackboard, you're going to have, by default and automatically, a column in your Grade Center, and that column will be the item name that is to be scored. So whenever you have something that you're going to have a grade attached to, you'll automatically see a column in your Grade Center where it will appear. And with all of this in mind, let's go ahead and click on Submit. And because it is the newest assignment in our long list here, we're going to go ahead and scroll down to the bottom And there is our test assignment. Now, if you go ahead and enter the student mode, so user mode, and we actually go to the assignment, what do the students see? Well, if a student goes to our assignment, they're going to see our assignment title and our directions, and if we had any files attached, they'd see them listed here as well. Now, in order for the user to actually upload the assignment, they have to click this link, and this takes them to the actual assignment submission page, where we have our points possible. If we had a rubric, it would appear right here as well. And then if we're doing a text submission, we would go ahead and write something in the text editor here. And we can do this and or a submitted file. So we can also attach a file like a PDF or a Word document. And then we can browse computer and then click on the file we want and then hit open. And again, they can attach as many files as you require. And then finally, they can add some comments to their submission if they want to. And then once they hit submit, they're going to have the assignment appear in your Grade Center as an attempt. And we will show you how that works in the next video.